Are you crazy? Or are you just mad?
Hello, 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 hello! And welcome to the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where we discuss the latest news, research, and hot topics surrounding mental health. I'm Thomas Maher, and I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, award-winning singer, songwriter, and presenter, Indiraa.
We're back, Indiraa.
Hi there.
How are you doing?
Oh, not very well. I've been through the wars, haven't I?
Yeah, you have, yeah. The wars have been through you, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah? Have you survived them?
I'm trying.
You're trying, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're going to tell us all about the wars you've been in?
Yeah, well, first I had a carpal tunnel operation, and that was okay. That wasn't too bad, except I have to keep my hand above my head all the time, and I feel like I'm in school saying,
in class.
Miss, me.
Mm-hmm. It's all about you.
Yeah, but then I was, the day I got a little bit better, I decided to go and get my nails done, and on the way back, I fell on the road. I've cut my upper eye, above my eye, and I've torn the muscle in there. It's gone down to the bone, and I've severed 2 blood vessels, and the skin is. So I had to go to a plastic surgeon who had to stitch not just my skin, but the muscle underneath, so my upper eye doesn't fall in. And also I hit my knee, and there was so much debris in it, they had to scrape it to just a couple of millimeters above the bone. So I am struggling, and for the first time I've been forced to take painkillers. I don't like doing that. So there you go. That's
so let's
all
put that into perspective. You had surgery on Monday, which was a scheduled operation for your carpal tunnel on your hand. And then on Thursday, you went out to get your nails done. And on the way back, you decided to walk instead of get an Uber or take a lift. And
it was a nice day.
It was a nice day. Well, it didn't end up being a nice day, did it? So you tripped on the pavement on your way back.
Yes, I did, yeah.
But it was roadworks.
Yeah.
And you hit your head on the curb, split your head open.
Yes.
And your knee.
Yes.
And the builders who happened to be in the roadworks put a tourniquet around your head.
Yep.
And they sent you down to the farm.
That's right.
Yeah, well, Agatha picked you up, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Yeah, you were in a bit of a mess. So you've had a couple of hospital visits this week. Yeah, obviously the scheduled one and the unscheduled one.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm on speed dial at the hospital.
Speed dial at the hospital. But here you are anyway. I'm still
I'm still standing.
in fine fettle to get in and do the show. So welcome, folks, to another episode of the Mad Pod Podcasts, episode 18. Indiraa likes 8, so we're going to go with 18. We have one of our tracks to play in the show today. It's going to be K Sarah. Great that she's here with us to do that, because it looked like at one stage during the week she wouldn't be here with everything going on. So welcome, Indiraa, and it's good to have you here, really, given that's what's happened. So let's have a look what we have today on the schedule. We have, Indiraa has, for our first one, is going to be 11 ways to cope with disappointment and learn how to move on. Then I've got virtual reality emerges as a promising tool in depression treatment. And Indira's got, why do so many people loathe themselves or bathe themselves? Is it bathe or loathe? Loathe, okay. And my final one will be how perfectionists use anxiety to cope with depression. It's a good one. And we've got a UFO one, of course we do. And it's brilliant because it's a UK one. It says, map reveals 8 UFO hotspots around the world. Is your country on the list? It's a hit list.
Mine is.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but you're an alien anyway, so your country's not even on this planet.
I'm alien to everything.
Yeah, you are, yeah.
Everything's alien to me.
Yeah, everything's alien to you, yeah.
Yep. So the article I'm reading today, right, it's 11 ways to cope with disappointment. I decided I'm going to breeze through, I've read them, so I'm going to breeze through certain things and just talk about put it in my words rather than the author of the article, so that when you do read it, it's in more detail, but you don't get bored when I say it.
I like that.
So, yeah. So what I thought is disappointment is part of life. We all know that. We have to learn to deal with it. So what happens when your dream promotion goes wrong, or your relationship gets busted, or, you feel upset, deflated, or you're waiting for a long-awaited holiday and that falls through? You feel disappointment. So that's how we're going to look at it. Disappointment's an emotional. So response is unmet, expectations. So, what do? What are the sensations you feel? Let's go with that. Your characterized feelings are sadness, anger, frustration, or even sense of loss, resentment, betrayal. The higher the expectation, the more intense the disappointment. So, it can feel like an intense but unusually temporary emotion, and it's possible for people to move past it. Now, here a range of experts share how to deal with pain and disappointment. First and foremost, you accept it in 4 ways. Disappointment is normal response to things in life. We need to give ourselves space to feel our emotions. It's a very vital part of healing you need to understand. The 4 steps approached are based on principles of acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT as they call it. Now, in terms of applied to the disappointment situations from being let down in a relationship or something like that, you have to accept it. Identify your feelings you're experiencing. If you have lost out on a promotion, you might feel annoyed, stuck, frustrated, says Nicholas. But if someone you're dating ghosts you, you might feel sadness, rejection. Don't judge your emotions and responses, honor them. And think that you're here to learn from this experience. Now, notice your thoughts and, of course, your feelings as well. If a friend lets you down, you might think, I don't deserve this. If you miss out on a flat rental, you may think, that was perfect place for me. So don't judge in your mind. Just let it think what it needs to think at the time. Now, think about your values. Consider why matters so much to you. If you're disappointed about failing your driving test, it might be because you value your freedom. You're disappointed not about failing that test, but now if you have a partner who's letting you down, it might be because your value of connection and loyalty isn't really matching up with his, is it? So identifying why it matters to you is more important. So now I've put a lot of this in my own words because I read it through and I felt it's more understandable rather than gobbing someone else's words,
Well, anyone who wants to read the article, link could be provided.
Exactly.
Anyway.
So take care of yourself. Do this in small, meaningful ways. Now, cook your favorite dinner. Do 10 minutes of yoga, stretches, message a friend, plan a time, defined step directly linked to disappointment you're experiencing. Tomorrow, I'm going to book an event and go with a different friend, or I'll plan to search for a new property. So just wherever you've got let down, find a solution to that particular problem. It may not be long term, but it could be temporarily, give you a little respite. Now, examine both sides of a situation. When faced with disappointment, we can transition through the feelings much faster if we examine the situation from the other side. So if you think there are 2 specific questions you can ask yourself. Although it's not easy to answer, they can significantly increase the speed of which you can process all your disappointment. What would be the negative drawback, challenges, and pain points if things had aligned with what I wanted? I always say when things go wrong, they go wrong for the right reasons. And I really believe that because something better always seems to come along is how I feel. So we ask ourselves the questions in our minds. We tend to generate a fantasy version where everything's positive and good. But reality comes with challenges. Identify the difficulties, the pain points, and that could have arisen from your disappointment can transform into relief. So imagine if you so disappointed some guy has dumped you or something and you think it's the worst thing in the world, and then you look at the positives and think, hey, if he can dump me, he's going to dump someone else. So there is a positive.
Okay.
That's how you got to try and look at it, that there is another way out. Now, what is the benefits to me of the path that I am on now? Once we take time to examine the benefits and advantages of the ways things are now, we can find appreciation in what we're doing rather than missing out on something. So focusing on this can help you shift your focus from disappointment to gratitude. Now, record your feelings. This is something I actually don't like doing, but There you go. Give yourself permission to feel the emotion raised by disappointments without judgment. Now, the counseling directory member says, sit with yourself, watch a good movie, a feel-good movie. Knowing that you're upset will tell you that it's okay to feel that way. You can also record voice note on your phone expressing how you feel, or write in a journal. This can process your emotions. I find that very hard to do, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Now, readjust your expectations, although none of it is likely to admit the expectations can be a little bit higher than other people could meet. So, use your mindfulness and become more aware of the expectations, and then learn to hold on to them lightly so that when the next you enter into a similar situation, go in with a beginner's mind open to whatever happens. You can control this misalignment in expectations. So you're already prepared. So the first time it doesn't go right, the next time, be aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
Set an alarm on ruminations. While you're important to allow yourself feelings to process them, it's important to set a limit on how long we linger with all these reflective states.
Yeah.
So
True.
Allocate yourself a time, a calendar, and just a cut-off point. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, important.
Use it as motivation. Missing out on promotion can be disheartening, but it's important for you to understand that these decisions can be influenced by factors, not just performance. A counseling psychologist and founder said, the corporate psychologist, ask for the feedback. Ask the manager why you didn't get this, basically, and try and work on that. Use the experience as something that comes out of it. Yeah, I didn't get the job, but then you don't do this and this right. Change it.
Yeah, exactly.
So control how you respond. As a human being, we have an innate desire to control things. Well, you then feel powerless and ultimately disappointed. So what do you have to do if you're disappointed because your partner wronged you? It's just what they did that's making you feel this way. But that you had nothing, zero control over this. It wasn't you who did anything after all. So there you go. Taking it personally, dealing with disappointment is a deeply personal process. So for one person may not work, it may not work for the other. So a mindset psychologist said, self-optimism coach, start with being kind to yourself. Disappointment can often be accompanied by self-criticism and being harsh, internal dialogue. Don't be nasty to yourself. Just treat yourself with the same kindness and concern, support that you would a good friend. Use the knowledge gained from disappointments to create achievable objectives, but ensure that you are specific and measurable. Now, break down your long-term goals to short-term targets. This prevents setbacks and builds confidence in yourself. Disappointment of 10 can often highlight your resilience and your adaptability. Refrain from experience. Looking for the silver lining in a disappointing situation can be very helpful. So don't forget, every cloud does have a silver lining, so be positive about it. This can help you shift the focus from a negative thing to a positive.
Indira, is this your idea of a summary?
Yeah. Why?
Is it now? Because it's going on. You're going to finish the whole article now shortly.
Nope. But that's basically it. They tell you the 4 different ways of doing it.
So you went through the whole article?
No,
really?
but I took out the bits. And
Did you now?
Yeah, I just said each article in my own words about 4 lines rather than 24 lines.
So as you've been waffling on there, I have been looking online, and actually we can use Chat GPT, the AI online bot, to summarize our articles.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that's it.
So that's what we're going to do in future.
Yeah, I think so, because it does waffle on a bit, and I don't like it.
It does. Some of the articles are very, very long, and they kind of drag out.
Boring, yeah.
Boring.
But I try to summarize it into, the 3 things
that's what
about
we're gonna
losing
do.
your job, your partner, or whatever, and then the ways to handle it, the ways not to handle it, the ways to feel good about yourself, that kind of thing. But even then, it's just, there's too many...
It drags out. It's too much science.
Yeah.
Too much science and waffles.
And too many articles done by all these people, and studies and all the rest of it.
Yeah, so what's what we're going to do? We are going to summarize the articles from episode 19 onwards. So we've less waffle and more entertaining and interesting chat.
I think
How about
so.
that?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll leave you to condense everything, send it to me, and then I'll do that.
I'll do that. Yeah. That's how it's summarised, isn't it? So that, folks, was 11 ways to cope with disappointment and learn how to move on. So obviously that article link will be included.
Actually, it's
in the episode
111 by the way it was going on.
So yeah, exactly. So that if you want to read the full article, it's there. That was Indira's attempt at summarising it, but we are going to do it from next week on. We're going to use ChatGPT. I've never used it before, but yeah, it sounds interesting. We're going to give it a shout. All right, so I've got one, and it's called Virtual Reality Emerges as Promising Tool in Depression Treatment. Now, has anyone ever used... Have you ever used...
What?
Virtual reality?
No.
What are you doing? Wrecking the place again? What's going on over there? Are you wrecking the place?
Have I done virtual reality? I only use things to filter my face to look beautiful. Does that count?
Well, it's alternate reality.
Okay.
But still, anyway, no, virtual reality. I've never used it, but I've played games and I've played arcade games, and that is very
those
good.
Things.
No, this is VR. The thing you put over your face, and like a lens, and it covers your eyes, and
okay.
Takes you away to an alternate.
I don't do all that stuff.
Yeah, well. Anyway, here we go. Virtual reality emerges as a promising tool in depression treatment. Again, it's a long article, so I'm going to summarise this as best I can. It goes on and on and on. So here's my attempt at summarising. A new study published in the JMIR Mental Health highlights the potential of virtual reality in the treatment of major depressive disorder. The study found that virtual reality can be an effective tool in reducing depressive symptoms, performing comparably to traditional methods of behavioural activation therapy. Major depressive disorder is a growing global concern. You're kidding? With significant impacts on health and economic burdens. Traditional therapies for depression, such as behavioural activation, are effective but often inaccessible due to various barriers, including financial constraints, physical limitations, and lack of trained providers. Behavioural activation is based on the idea that depression is linked to a cycle of avoidance and withdrawal from pleasurable or meaningful activities. By intentionally scheduling and engaging in activities that promote enjoyment or a sense of accomplishment, individuals can break this cycle, improve their mood, and reduce depressive symptoms. Virtual reality offers a potential solution to the accessibility issues associated with this form of therapy. By immersing patients in engaging and controlled in virtual environments, it can provide therapeutic experiences that might otherwise be unattainable in real life. Now, that's my summary. Now, was that good?
That was very good.
Right, and this article goes on and on and on and on because of scientific facts and this and that. But that's my summary of it. So basically, it says virtual reality is an up-and-coming mode treatment for depression.
So you get
Very
the easy
effective.
ones that you can concise and...
No, I was just better than you at doing it.
No, you're not.
I was.
You're not better at me at anything.
I am better at you at everything.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am. Yeah,
No,
I am. I am.
You're only better at me at showing off.
I'm better at you at everything, and that includes showing off. I'm just better. So
Just so you know.
Okay, now listen. So again, sorry folks, that article, the full article is included in the show notes, the link, so you can go read that for yourself. You can go knock yourself out. That's there. Okay, but you want to play your song today?
Yeah.
Should we play it in the middle, shall we?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you like.
Whatever you need.
like, whatever you like.
Whatever you know.
That's status quo, folks, by the way, in case anyone doesn't know. Right, Indira, I'm going to let you introduce this song to us.
Well, when I was just a little girl, my mum used to sing this to me, and a very well-known song that I think most generations have carried on. And whenever I'm kind of out of it, I decide to sing it to myself in my head. And it inspires me to just accept what it is. It's a part of acceptance. So with that, I will say no more. And Doris Day, it's a glorious day.
Oh, very nice. Enjoy it.
Case of us, we're all
Que Sera Indiraa. That's the radio edit. Really good track.
Well,
You're proud of that one, aren't you?
Yeah, I was proud of it when you sent me a thing from Poland when you'd gone to the beer festival and they were playing it, and our friend Paul on the farm went to a match of Chelsea and they were playing it.
Wow.
Of course, they had my version, but they went, whatever will be, we're going to Wembley. Que sera.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. We went to Poland. We went to a Polish beer festival in Wrocław recently. And on our way out, they had a carnival. And we decided to stop. And just before we left the actual festival, the beer festival, there were one going the bumper cars and they played this song on the radio. And I said it was with Kasia and a few other friends. I said, that's Indiraa. They're playing her song. And I couldn't believe it. And of course, I recorded the video and sent it to you.
Yeah, exactly. So, with him swearing and everything.
Swearing in the background, yeah. With everything in there. That was amazing. Okay, so Indiraa, you have another...
Why do so many people loathe themselves? Many people struggle with self-loathing and lack of self-compassion. A lack of self-compassion is the root of many causes of depression and addiction. Feeling disconnected from your true nature can drive feelings of self-loathing, but it's possible to reconnect. So there you go, you can reconnect. Have you noticed that more and more people seem to be dealing with mental health challenges in the last few years? The shift first came at the greater light during the COVID-19 pandemic, when we were forced to socially isolate in our homes and to avoid spreading the virus. For some, there was little to do during the lockdown except confront our own thoughts and our feelings. Mental health challenges have always existed, but many were long obscured by distractions and the constant doing that modern society demands of us. It is only when we are forced to stop, that's incessant doing, that people are finally discovered the uncomfortable truth about themselves. Not only do they lack self-love, but they loathe themselves. Two of society's modern ills, depression and addiction, are closely tied to self-loathing, and I should know. As a critical care physician, I have treated many patients who've suffered from severe depression and tried to kill themselves, thankfully, unsuccessfully in most cases. Me again. I have also cared for many patients who have addicted to various substances and have overdosed, leading to hospitalization. After engaging in many of these patients, the common denominator among them is always no self-compassion. This self-loathing, I discovered, was the root of all depression and often so painful that it led to addiction. This is very good for me, actually, Tom. Thank you. The question is, why do people loathe themselves so much? I argue with that. I argue that it has to do with false identity. Very few people truly know who they are and identify with superficial aspects of their identity. This could be their emotions, many of which are suppressed due to the pain they cause. Their negative thoughts, which often arise from adverse childhood experiences, the roles they play, which do not do justice to the depth of who they truly are. Their relationships, many of which are challenged and troubled, are what society tells them they are. Few people have had the benefit of forging their unique identity outside of societal influences, which, as their parents, extended families or peer groups and education systems, so societal expectations, government influences, and social media, mass media, marketing, advertising, popular culture, all these things are steering us in another way. When this happens, we often take other people's agendas instead of following our own heart, our own path. This continues long enough. We may become so conditioned by the world around us that we never seek to discover who we truly are and what truly moves and inspires us. When we lose touch with our own identity and start to identify with the world's expectations of what we are aligning with our true nature. This, I believe, is when self-loathing and lack of self-compassion set in. If we let go of outer conditioning, although we can penetrate to the depths of our being and uncover our deepest selves, some people prefer to refer to this as the soul spirit and simply energy. Whatever you call it, it is the essence of who you are. Many have discovered their true selves and concluded that separation, which is a primary source of discontent, is an illusion. This is what actually Hinduism is based on, Thomas. The question then arises, how do we uncover the true nature, cultivate our self-compassion that we so desperately need? There is a simple solution, but we have to start somewhere. The first step is to take brief moments out of your regular routine and withdraw from the external influences of the world. This could take the form of meditation, taking a walk in nature, even a mini retreat for a part of the day where you are not swayed by others and what the world expects of us. It is vitally important that you take these moments of self-reflection, contemplate our existence. What often gets in the way are our suppressed, difficult emotions, negative thinking, and limiting beliefs. When we are confronted with these entities, we must question them and get to their roots. If we do this with discipline, determination, we will discover that there are inner demons in us and figments of our imagination that hold power over us. You need to get rid of this. Just find your true self, basically. Release and go deeper into the self-reflective and contemplation. As we start this journey within, we will discover that we were never really broken. Our true nature is far greater than we imagined. It is not the false identity that we have been conditioned by society and fulfill an agenda other than your own. It is pure consciousness. Discovery of our true nature is the beginning of self-love and the end of self-loathing. Once we have the first step, self-discovery, cultivating self-compassion, it will start to grow and blossom like a flower and reveal to us who we truly are. This is a lot to ponder, especially for those who are stuck in self-loathing. But I will leave you with this final thought. If you can take the inner journey to cultivate self-compassion, unlock the levels of love, beauty, and awe that you scarcely imagined existed, the journey has a potential to change your life for the better. Will you have the courage to take the first step? I certainly will.
Interesting. Very good one, Indiraa. That's very, very good. I like the part where it says the identity, losing the identity, because that's obviously very important.
It's very important to, I think, and Thomas knows this, he's a student of Buddhism and Hinduism like I am, and it's all about finding the soul within you, the goodness within you, the God within you, and not what everything we've learned to believe. I mean, everything tells us who we are when it's not true.
It's true.
We are pure.
Yeah. We are indeed. That was a very good one. I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it too, sweetheart. Thank you so much. I like that one.
Yeah, it was good. I think it was very relevant for today's living.
And it's very relevant because it's something my mum taught me over and over. And considering we played the song that mum used to sing to me, it's kind of...
resonates, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, it does. Okay, so I've got a short article. I don't even have to summarize that. There are some key points at the end which I'll mention, but how perfectionists use anxiety to cope with depression. Right, that is interesting. Worrying can, paradoxically, help perfectionists maintain a sense of control. That is interesting. A sense of hopelessness can be a coping mechanism for anxiety, and anxiety a balm for hopelessness. We don't always know which we prefer. Perfectionists tend to fluctuate between feeling an inordinate amount of controlling, feeling completely despondent. They go from the mindset of, I can do anything, to I'm completely useless. From taking on too much responsibility to taking on none at all. It may be challenging to think of anxiety as a way to cope, as most of us search for ways to manage our anxiety rather than increase it. But with anxiety itself, the fear of the unknown and unpredictable, there can also be a great deal of hope. Some even continually find reasons to be anxious, stoking the flames of their worries as they perpetuate their sense of control. Worrying only matters and makes sense due to how much energy it extracts. If one feels as though it's practical, even if the belief is more unconscious, worrying is energizing, firing up the fight or flight system to facilitate decision making. Again, the antithesis of anxiety tends to be hopelessness, which was indicated by two prominent psychologists. Charlotte Nicholson writes, Martin Steigelman and Stephen F. Maher first identified learned hopelessness as a phenomenon in the 1960s. These psychologists conducted experiments on dogs, finding that when exposed to repeated shocks that they could not control, the animals refrained from taking action when they could prevent the shocks. Rather than worried after repeated threats, the pups appeared depressed, poor things, becoming completely passive and seemingly numb. Their bodies discontinued exerting the energy needed to survive. In some sense, the dogs realised that worrying was a waste of effort. Very interesting.
Oh.
Very interesting. Many of the patients I've encountered over the years would almost do anything, no matter how absurd, to prevent boredom, refusing to even engage in non-goal directed activities, because to them boredom signified the beginnings of depressive episodes. So some of them were, one can say, preoccupied or obsessed with anxiety, which was the precursor of activity and purpose, no matter how trivial the worries or frenzied pursuits. That probably goes back to the point where doing nothing is actually doing something. Framing anxiety as a compulsive or soothing activity can be helpful because it allows patients to accept some degree of responsibility in the maintenance of their worries. They come to realise that their worries help them feel important, effective and in control, even if the aspects of their lives they chronically worry about are in reality most outside of their control. Worrying can be insidious. It can be an insidious drug which needs a higher dosage with each problem you fix. You may worry about your mother's depression, so you resolve to make her happy. But the personal effect of each new cultivated moment of joy is slowly diminished as you accept how helpless you are in actually curing her. Wow.
Wow, good one.
Therefore, becoming resentful at your mild influence on her well-being, you instead seek out a grander problem, whether it's solving your dysfunctional family dynamics or tackling climate change. Each disappointment becomes the basis of a new, grander version. So when the final fix doesn't occur, which it hardly ever does, the perfectionist is left with her sense of hopelessness and lack of importance. This is where the most difficult part of the treatment tends to begin. If you've acknowledged how and why you've used everything to cope with existential and personal grief, you can now explore and attempt to learn to sit with those relentlessly bubbling feelings. At this stage, the fixer, more often than not, is exposed to her existential circumstances and personal shame. She's faced with the reality of not being special and the disappointment she's brought to those who purposely love her. She may have achieved, but it was never enough. She may have cared enough to worry, but still was selfish. But was still too selfish because she didn't worry enough. She did everything right, but her life somehow turned out completely wrong. Her seeming addiction to worrying betrayed her belief that while it wasn't special yet, she neared approval. Letting go of some of the excessive worry entails disregarding your need to be special, or better yet, you need to be perfect. This may also mean your need to be loved by someone who couldn't. Well, that is interesting. And there's some key points here. Let me read the key points before I just wrap this up. Key points. Anxiety can be used to cope with helplessness and hopelessness. Underlying the worry is the belief that worrying is helpful. Perfectionists tend to fluctuate between feeling too much in control and too little. Anxiety can hide shame and existential. I can't get that word when you
Existential.
Existential. Thank you. Existential depression. So anxiety can hide shame and existential depression. That's it. Right. That was it. That's a very interesting article. Do you like that one?
Yes, very much.
Yes. So summarise that for me again, please.
No.
Why?
Why not?
Go on, do it.
No, I'm not going to.
Why?
Because it was too long.
Because you were not interested. You were not engaging what I was doing.
I was engaging.
You were not engaging.
I was.
No, liar. Liar. Liar.
Don't be nasty to
Liar.
me. I'm very vulnerable.
Yeah, you're very vulnerable, yeah. Okay, we've got a UFO article to finish it off. We've got a nice short one today. Is it short or sweet?
I don't know. The last one you said was short, and somewhere along the line I thought, when's this going to end?
Yeah. Well, I thought the same about your first one as well. Oh my God, this is a long one. So it's not short. It's not even sweet. Okay, a map reveals 8 UFO hotspots around the world. Is your country on the list? If you were to have an alien encounter, where in the world would you expect it to be? Unidentified flying objects, UFOs, also known as unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAPs, are a source of mystery and intrigue as cases of potential alien visitors sweep across the globe. But where are the best places to go if you wanted to spot a UFO? American non-profit organisation, the National UFO Reporting Centre, NUFORC, has a bank of data revealing they feel to be the most credible or interesting places. The organisation said that these reports tend to be from trained observers such as pilots, reports of anomalous structured craft seen at close distances, and reports with interesting and clear video or photographic evidence. Many of these cases stem back to the 1990s and are posted in the author's own words. So, where are the UFO hotspots around the world? You're interested to know? Here we go.
Yes.
The United States, naturally the US made the top of the list with a whopping 133,682 apparent UFO sightings across the country dating back to...
Oh my God.
It's a lot.
133,000?
Mm-hmm. The state with the most viewings is California, with 16,399 credible cases since the mid-90s, and the fewest number of viewings were around the capital, the District of Columbia, with only 155 cases. In California, reported shapes often take form of mysterious lights or orbs. Okay, so let's go through the other ones. We don't want to bore you about each state. Where's this next state? So next state, number 2 on the list, is Canada. Still in North America, the people of Canada have compiled 5,973 UFO sightings dating back to 1995. With a large number like this, NUFORC has split case reports by province and revealed the highest number of reports came from the province of Ontario, with 2,547 reports. The fewest reports came from Prince Edward Island, with 27 credible reports. Okay, number 2. Ooh. What's number 3 on the list?
But there is a thing. Prince Edward Island probably has less people there, so...
It's got one prince.
No, but think about it. Think about it. Less people reporting in.
That may not be true. Maybe everybody's watching the skies.
California, big population.
Maybe everybody's watching the skies.
Desert.
Maybe everyone's watching the skies. I don't know.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, you're so cute.
Right.
Don't put that voice on.
Number 3 on the list. What is it?
India.
No, it's the UK. The UK is another well-known hotspot for UFOs and has racked up 3,439 cases that date back to 1996.
Wow.
The reports appear across the country. One witness in Birmingham in September 2009 said, South Birmingham, 11:40 a.m., clear sky gold flat object at few feet square with slight bend.
I want one.
On Sunday morning, while taking a coffee after some light housework, my wife was at morning work. I witnessed something exceedingly weird off the back patio. I have no belief in UFOs. Laws of physics dictate against it, and have always explained away anything unusual as helicopter lights, etc., but could not this time, I'm afraid. Ooh. That is interesting. So that, anyway, it goes on a bit more. Number 4 on the list. Have a guess.
India.
No.
Ireland.
No. Kuala Land.
Oh, Australia.
On the other side of the world, there is one surprising country that has quite a few sightings of UFOs. In Australia, data from the NUFORC revealed there have been 961 sightings since 1996, and some echo other reports from elsewhere in the world. In 2003, one witness in New South Wales reported a triangular UFO with white lights that was moving fast and silently. Okay. Number 5.
India.
Yes,
Yay.
you got it. Indian Land.
Indian land.
Indian land.
Us little brown people.
Okay, yes, the home of Indiraa. Right, while we hear of many cases from countries like the US and the UK, we rarely hear of reports from countries such as India. However, according to the NUFORC, there are 502 credible cases that stem back to 1999. In 2010, a woman in the city of Alwar saw a UFO hovering overhead for around 5 minutes. She reported the object looked like a disc and featured lights as well as an aura or a haze surrounding it. She wrote, at 6:21 p.m, I was playing with my kids at the rooftop of our row house in Alwar city of Rajasthan state in India. Suddenly I saw a white and silver colour saucer sparkling in the sky. It was moving in a zigzag way. It was moving towards the east and then suddenly changed direction to the north. I told my parents and the kids to also look, and we all saw the object for around 5 minutes, and it was moving very slowly, and everybody was surprised to see the same thing. We tried to capture the picture of the object, on our mobile phone camera, but as the object was distant, we were not able to capture it. Let me say that it was clear sky that day, but suddenly we saw a rapid change in weather, and after 3 hours a thunderstorm and lightning happened. I am not sure, but this might be linked to the flying object, she wrote. To add to my credibility, I am a postgraduate in science and a mother of 2 kids. Oh, good for her. Good for her. And then there's 6 on this, South Africa. Of course, South Africa is famous for one particular incident, isn't it? Another UFO hotspot on the list is the country of South Africa. According to the data, the country has 211 reports that date back to 1997. But despite a smaller number of cases, there are still just as eerie. One witness reported seeing a UFO over a rhino sanctuary in Kelsdrop, which has no fly zone. The witness wrote, I have some very weird footage for you in South Africa. Captured at 4 a.m. from my son. What is that? Someone.
That's you.
That's a door, is it? You didn't turn your phone off.
What? I did. It's you.
Okay, so I forgive you. The witness wrote, I have some weird footage for you from South Africa. Captured at 4 a.m. by my son on a high security rhino. Now you're hitting the microphone stand. I'll have to suspend you. Security rhino farm with state-of-the-art security systems, including radar, which was how the object was detected in the first place, and night sight cameras. They could not identify the object on camera, and as it is no fly zone, they dispatched a team of rangers, but no lights and no sound was heard by the team, so they could not locate anything as it was all too dark. So that was what's on the list. Oh, we got Ireland. Ireland's on the list, number 8. Back in Europe, another UFO hotspot country that might be unknown, why should it be unknown, is Ireland, the Greenland.
Yeah.
Yes, the Emerald Island.
Little
leprechauns
you.
there, yeah.
Like the cute little things like you.
Yeah. The country has reported 189 cases, which date back to 1998. But despite being half a world away, the organisation revealed reports that also talked of a flying object moving in a zigzag pattern. One witness from Dublin in 1998 wrote of a strange light spotted with an aura nearby. The report said, I was looking out my bedroom window staring at the stars when suddenly one moved. At first I thought it was a satellite, but it was zigzagging, jerking, moving in circles and changing. What's he going on? And changing direction. I called my father and my brother and we went outside to look at it better. It stopped moving for a while, then started moving again. I stayed there observing it for another 20 minutes before I went inside again. When I got upstairs, I couldn't see it anymore. Yeah. So there's a few more. There's Brazil then, and Brazil is the last one on the list.
Brazil's a good one.
It's the last on the list. But isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting.
India and Ireland are on that list, so that's nice to know.
That is nice.
Hope you're not mistaking flying objects for leprechauns or something, you know?
Or people on flying carpets and stuff in India.
Yeah, that's right.
You know?
It could all be that, couldn't it?
Yep.
Well, anyway.
It's known to happen.
It is. India, I'm not going to hold you back because I know you're not in the best shape.
Nah, don't worry about it.
At the moment. I'm looking at you here and you're full of plasters and all sorts of things, wrappings and... Good God, you look like a mummy.
Yeah, well, when I have a shower, I put cling film all over me and then go in.
I saw that. Good Lord above. Anyways, you made it here and that's the important thing. So you can't be so bad.
I can't be that bad.
You're a toughie, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a toughie. All right, so folks, thank you for joining us on episode 18 of the Mad Podcast. And thank you for Indiraa for making that special effort to be here.
And thank you for Tommy for asking me in.
Yeah. It's always my pleasure. Okay, guys, next time we'll see you. Take care.
We don't love you, but we can say we love you because that's what everyone says, right?
Whatever.
Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever.
Bye.
Bye. Well, folks, on that note, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have, and we look forward to bringing you more of the latest news and hot topics surrounding mental health on our next show. Remember, new episodes of the Mad Podcast drop every Sunday at 6 p.m. Episodes are available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, the Musicians Against Depression website, an online toolbox that contains a wealth of information, essential reading, and links relating to mental health. As always, if you or someone you know would like to join the conversation, either in studio or remotely, email us at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com or visit the MAD website at www.musiciansagainstdepression.uk for further info. All links, including social media, are provided in the show notes. And remember, no problem in life is insurmountable, and help is just a conversation away. Until the next time, from myself and the wonderful Indiraa,
Take care.